5 young souls, their hearts brimming with hope and anticipation, embarked on a journey to a world unknown. Their names were whispered on the wind: Elara, the strategist; Ronan, the protector; Lyra, the healer; Finn, the pragmatist; and Kaelan, the optimist. They sought a new beginning, a land whispered to be free from the sorrows that plagued their own. Accompanying them was a man shrouded in the shadow of leprosy. His skin bore the marks of the disease, his steps slow and labored. He was known simply as Silas. Silas's presence was a stark contrast to the youthful energy of the group. His breaths came in ragged gasps, each step a testament to his resilience. Yet his eyes held a quiet wisdom, a depth that spoke of years etched in suffering and acceptance. The group had encountered Silas on the outskirts of their village. They sat by the roadside, a picture of solitude and despair. They could have easily passed him by, their eyes averted in a silent pact of indifference. But something in his weathered face, in the silent plea of his outstretched hand, stirred something within them. Lyra, her heart tender and always open to the suffering of others, was the first to reach out. She offered him water and a kind word, her touch gentle on his gnarled hand. Finn, ever the pragmatist, questioned the wisdom of taking on the burden of a sick man. Their journey was fraught with danger, every step a gamble against the unknown. We can't simply abandon him, Elara argued, her voice firm. He has no one. Her words resonated with the others, their own fears momentarily silenced by a wave of empathy. And so, Silas became an unexpected member of their fellowship, his slow, shuffling steps a constant reminder of the fragility of life. They shared their meager rations with him, their pace adjusting to accommodate his labored steps. Lyra tended to his wounds with a tenderness that belied her young age, her touch soothing the burning sting of his affliction. At night, under the canopy of a star-dusted sky, Silas would share stories of the world he knew, tales spun from moonlight and memory. Days bled into weeks, and the terrain grew increasingly treacherous. The path ahead was a winding ribbon of danger, snaking through dense forests and treacherous ravines. The weight of their mission pressed down on them, their youthful optimism slowly giving way to the harsh realities of their journey. Silas's presence, once a shared responsibility, became a source of unspoken resentment. "We'll never make it at this pace," Ronan muttered one evening, his voice tight with frustration. "We have to think of ourselves." His words, sharp and laced with a desperation born from exhaustion, hung heavy in the air. No one dared to challenge him, their own patience wearing thin. That night, under the pale glow of the moon, they made a decision. They would leave Silas behind. It was a decision born of desperation, a choice that gnawed at their consciences. They left him with food, water, and prayers whispered into the cold night air, their guilt a bitter taste in their mouths. They pressed onward, their pace quickened by a mixture of guilt and renewed hope. The landscape shifted, the air growing heavy with an unfamiliar energy. Finally, they arrived at their destination, a towering gate, its surface etched with ancient symbols, A lone figure, cloaked and enigmatic, stood guard. "What brings you to this place?" the gatekeeper boomed, his voice echoing with an otherworldly resonance. "We seek sanctuary," Elara responded, her voice trembling slightly. The gatekeeper's gaze swept over them, his expression unreadable. "To enter this realm," he declared, "you must offer a tribute, a handful of sand from the Valley of Whispers." Their hearts sank. The Valley of Whispers was a desolate stretch of land they had passed days ago, and they knew with a sickening certainty who they had left behind. The wait was agonizing. Each passing moment was a hammer blow to their consciences. They watched the sun arc across the sky, their hope dwindling with the fading light. Just when their spirits were about to break, a figure emerged from the horizon. Silas. He moved with painful slowness, his body bent under the weight of his burden, but his eyes held a glimmer of quiet triumph. In his hand, he clutched a small leather pouch. Inside, a handful of sand. It was the sand they had so carelessly overlooked, too blinded by their own urgency to see the value in his slow, steady progress. The gatekeeper accepted the offering, his stern features softening ever so slightly. As they passed through the gate, leaving behind the world they knew, they cast one last look at Silas. He stood there, a solitary figure against the dying light, a testament to the enduring power of patience and acceptance. They had been so focused on reaching their destination that they had forgotten the most important lesson of all, that everything has its time, and what is meant to be will always find its way.